Hello everyone, and thank you for joining the Avaya J-Series End User Training for Avaya IP Office. To get started, I'm going to go through the display. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here on the display itself. At the top of the display, we show the time and date, along with the extension number of the phone and username. You also notice two other icons here. The blue is if you have a Bluetooth and Wi-Fi card installed on the phone, and also an icon designating any missed calls and the number of those missed calls. Below that we have programmable buttons on both sides of the display, and then there are 4 soft keys, and we'll talk about how these soft keys change depending on how the phone is being used. Some other hard-coded buttons we have here is the menu key, the contacts key, the call history key, the phone exit key, the voicemail and messages key, also used for voicemail transfer. We have a headset key, speakerphone. At the very bottom here we have a mute key and volume up and down. We also have a standard dial pad. To begin making a call, you can simply dial the extension or outbound number you wish to call. For outbound calls, you do require a 9 or 8, depending on how your system is programmed. To dial an extension, you start dialing, and it will automatically go over speakerphone, or if you wish to talk privately, you can just lift the handset. If you noticed, it does automatically grab one of the call paths on your phone, A, B, or C. You don't have to select those individually, it will just automatically grab that. And that's also true if you lift the handset first and then dial. Again, to call outbound, press 9, and then whatever the number would be. To redial a number that was previously dialed, press the redial key and select from one of the last 15 numbers dialed. With the call active, you now have the option to use the 4 soft keys. These have now changed and show a hold, conference, transfer, or drop. So if I press hold, the call is now on hold, and you can see the light is blinking there. We also have the next available call path if I need to make another call. To pick that call off of hold, I simply press that button and I can go back to handset. To take more than one call while actively on a call, if another call comes to your phone, you will hear that single ring and also visually indicate the new caller ID of the new call, and you can just press that button. You can see it automatically puts the first call on hold, so now you're talking to the new caller, and you can jump between. So if you need to go back to the original caller, now the second caller is now on hold. And if this is a common conversation, you can actually join the 2 calls together simply by pressing this conference button. And now all 3 parties are connected. To transfer a call when you're active on a call, you can press this 3rd button here. It's a transfer key. So we'll press transfer, and you can see it automatically puts the first caller on hold. Now I can dial the person I wish to transfer to, and I can wait for them to answer if I want, or if I just simply hang up here, this will actually complete the transfer. But I'm going to wait here, and when they answer the call, now I'm connected, and I can say to this person, you have a call from ABC Company, would you like to take that? And if they say yes, I can simply hang up here, and that will complete the call and will complete that transfer, and they will now be talking to that person. I can also press complete here on the phone. I'm going to go ahead and hang up here, and now that caller has been transferred to the extension. If I have a call I wish to transfer directly to voicemail and not ring the phone, then I have the option to do a direct voicemail transfer. So this allows me to take this call I'm actively on and transfer it directly to an extension's voicemail. So if I do this, it does not ring the phone, and this is helpful for maybe if an end user is not in the office, and it's just more of a courtesy to the caller that they don't have to sit through the 3 or 4 rings before it goes to voicemail. So instead of hitting transfer, I'm actually going to hit the message key, and then it wants to know which extension I wish to send this caller to for voicemail, and the name will display there. I can hit select, and that directly transfers that caller to the voicemail box of that user. To start a conference call with an active call, you can simply press the conference button. That's that second soft key. And you can see it puts the first caller on hold. And now I can dial the other party I wish to add to this conference call. So I'm going to just call another internal extension here. And when they answer, I can now let them know, hey, I'm going to join you to this conference. And when I hit conference the second time, now we're all 3 connected. And I can keep adding people to this. I can press conference, I can press 9 or 8 if I need whatever my dial out code is, and call a cell phone or maybe another direct line. So I'm going to press that. And again, I'll wait for them to answer. And once they're connected, I'll hit conference. And now we have 4 parties. Now if I hit the details key, this is a new key that will show. When I press details, I can see all of the end users in this call, and I can drop or mute any of these individuals. So if I do not want this particular user on the call, I'll press drop, and now they've been removed. Maybe this caller has a lot of background noise. I can press mute, and now they've been muted. I can always go back to the original display during the conference call. Call park is used similar to hold, although it is available for all extensions on the system. So this is more like a global hold. So anytime you receive a new call that comes in, and once you've answered that call, and maybe they need to speak to someone else, and you know they're in the building or they're available, and you need to get that call to them, simply press the park 1, 2, or 3 button, and now that caller is on hold. And that frees you up to make another call outbound, or maybe notify that person via a page, or calling that extension directly and letting them know they have a call on Park 1. To answer a parked call, the end user will simply press the Park button. It will show who it is calling with caller ID, and then they can hit connect. Additional buttons on the phone can be found by pressing the right or left arrow. On this particular model, there are 8 buttons on the display, and there are 2 other pages. So there's page 2 and page 3. These are programmable by the administrator, so they will be different than this demonstration. Call pickup is an additional programmable button that may be on your phone. This allows you to pick up a call that you hear in a ring group that you have access to. So maybe another office or someone that you're covering for. If you hear their phone ringing, you can actually press the pickup key, and that will answer their call. The page button, this allows you to press page, and on most systems will provide a single beep, and then you will actually be able to audibly page throughout all of the phones, and possibly an external intercom system as well. Some systems you do have to push an additional digit for the zone. So you may press page and then 1, or page and then 2, which will specify which zone you are going to present the page to. Okay, going back to the main screen here, we also have that DND key, which means do not disturb, and when that is pressed, it actually lights up that green icon there. We also have a new icon that shows here, do not disturb key, and that means anytime someone calls this extension directly, it goes straight to voicemail. It also removes this particular phone from any page calls, so then they are not disturbed. You also have this status key, which will show up When we press status, we can see do not disturb is on. So you can also press off there if you needed to. But for now, if I wanted to turn that off, I can just press that DND button. You may also notice I pressed the exit key, which kind of brings us back to this main screen here. So anytime I'm in one of these other screens here in the redial or maybe in voicemail, I can always press this exit key, and this brings us back to that home screen. Okay, for these next few, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer just so we have a closer view of the display. And I'm going to kind of go through these hard-coded keys here. First, we're going to start with this contacts key. When we press contacts, it gives us a list of all the extensions in the system and any possible personal speed dials that I've added. To add that, you just press new. You can type the name in and the number. With it being an external number, you would need a 9 or 8 first. And then you can also sort these by external or personal contacts by pressing the left and right arrow, and that will filter those in your contacts here. Also, because it is a large list, you can use the dial pad to filter those names. So if I was looking for maybe just for Bob, I would just type in B-O-B, and that would just show only Bob's extension on this list. If I hit clear, that kind of clears that filter that I've added. Next key here is the message key, which we'll go into more depth here. This is for voicemail. Also, we previously showed how you can use that button to do a voicemail transfer. But we'll press this, and this will give us a menu option of checking voicemail, creating a greeting, and also adjusting other things like your password and voicemail to email settings. I'm going to skip over that for now. And we also have the menu key. So if I press that, now I have options to kind of go through some of these main menu options. Probably will not be used by the end user, but this does provide status of different settings on the voice network, and also it allows access to administrative settings. And the next key I want to show here is the call history key. So you can see it's currently lit up red, and I do have a number 2 in the display up at the top there for missed calls. So when I press that, it does show that I have 2 missed calls, and I can press call if I wanted to call them back. But you've also noticed that the icon has been turned off, so it no longer has the light there. I've acknowledged that I have had a missed call. So now when I press this, I can see all of my call history. This is a sort of a list of all inbound, outbound, and missed calls I've had from this phone. Okay. To exit out of this, you'll just press the exit key. The next feature I want to go through here is the twin feature. And this feature allows calls to go to both your desk phone and a cell phone mobile device at the same time. To start out, we'll press the twin key, and it's going to give us a new display here. It's going to let us adjust these settings. So initially it wants to know the destination. I'm going to hit edit, and this would typically be a cell phone number. So I'm going to put that number in here. Notice I did push 9 first because that is the outside dial code here in this instance. Now if it's 8, you need to press 8 there. So we'll hit select, and now I can turn mobile twinning on. I'll press on, and I can hit save there. You'll see the option below that there is called fallback twinning. That's just if your phone is logged out or maybe disconnected, it will then automatically turn this twinning feature on. So we'll go ahead and hit save there, and now you notice I have a lit twin button. So now if someone calls my phone, it will ring my desk phone, and then at the same time it will start ringing my cell phone. The advantage here is that I can answer either device. So if I answer my cell phone, I've got the caller, and if I wanted to, I could hand it off back to my desk phone by pressing the twin button. And this also works the other way. If I answer the call on the desk phone, I can press the twin key, and it actually will transfer the call to my cell phone. To turn call twinning off, I just press it once, and you'll see the light will go off on the button. To To reactivate that, I can just press the button once. It does retain all the information entered. I can just press on and save. And now it's back to an activated mode. This feature is also available by a time profile. So if your administrator has a certain time profile set up, that can be turned on during the hours of 8 to 5 only, or maybe just certain days of the week. Some additional programmable buttons you may have on the second or third page would be a user button. And those will designate a button with a name and will show the presence of the user and also act as a speed dial. So if I needed to call this particular user, I would just press that once and I would call them. It also will show me presence. So if that user was busy on a call, it will do that sort of fast blink next to that user's name. If that user has Do Not Disturb turned on, or if the phone is logged out, it will actually show a sort of solid red light. There's the red light for the Do Not Disturb. And when the phone is idle, it is just a dark button at that time. There's also the option to see a slow blink, which would indicate that that user has a ringing call. Okay, now we're going to jump back to the voicemail key, which will be this little envelope key here. When we press that, it does give us a menu of options. Currently we have a listen option, below that message, greeting, passcode, email, and then there's a voicemail on-off key if available. So the listen option will show us how many new messages we have, which is the first digit. The second is how many old messages we have. And the third digit is how many saved messages we have. When there is a new voicemail, the message waiting indication light at the top right will be lit, and you can press the message key, and now you can see that you now have one new voicemail. To access that voicemail, you can hit select there, you actually hit the button next to listen, or you can hit this center key here on the directional. So now we can see we have one new, 0 old, and 0 saved. We're going to press one new, and there may be a list here if you have more than one, and now you can press play or simply call them back. I'm going to press play. Okay, and I can press pause during that if I need to write something down. If I hit call, it will call back that person based on their caller ID. If I hit more, now I can delete, save, or copy this message. If I press delete, it automatically deletes the message. If I press save, it puts it into that saved folder. And if I press copy, it allows me to send it to someone else. Now that I've listened to this message, it is an old message, so the light is off. And old messages are automatically deleted after 30 days. So if I press save, that would save it indefinitely until I go in and delete that. Okay, if I press copy, now I can add a little recording to this, maybe give some more information to whoever I'm sending this to. And if I hit send to, this allows me to send it to another extension. So I'd type that extension number in here, and I would hit add, and I can keep adding people here if I wanted to. And when I hit send, that particular user now has that message. It's now been copied. So I'm going to back out of this, and again, that was listening to that voicemail. I am going to go ahead and hit more, and now I'm going to hit delete. This will erase the voicemail. So in order to delete those messages, you do have to press more and then delete. We're going to scroll down to the next option here in message. This allows you to record a message and then just send it to another extension on the system. Greeting, this is a pretty important one. This allows you to record your personal greeting for your mailbox. This is what callers will hear when they are leaving you a voicemail. So if you hit select there, you have that record button. You also have the listen button. So as a new voicemail extension, you will have to press record, and I would recommend using the handset to do this recording. Record whatever greeting you want to say there, and you'll notice after you press the button, you'll hear that beep. Again, use the handset if you can, and then press stop when you're done recording that message. And then you can listen to it back if you want to just kind of review it yourself. And then you do have to press submit, and that sort of saves it as your personal greeting. Okay, if we hit more there, now we can go back to that main menu. So now we've recorded our greeting. Below that is passcode. If we hit select here, we can actually enter in a new password that we want to add to this mailbox, which would secure that for use if we call into it externally or just at the desktop. And then the next option here is email, currently set to off. If you have an email address entered into the system, you will have this option. If you press change, you can set it to copy, which means anytime you get a voicemail, it will also send a copy of that message in your email inbox. It is not a transcribed message. It is just an audio file that you can listen to on your PC speakers, or if you're on a mobile device, it'll play it through that mobile device speaker. The next option is forward, which means it will only send the message to your email. It will not leave a voicemail on the phone, so only the audio message is emailed. And the third option here is alert, which means it just sends a small alert, lets you know that you have a new voicemail and you need to check your voicemail. And the initial option here was that off option, which means it's only at the phone. The voicemail is only accessible from this particular menu. Okay, and then the very last option here may or may not be available. This allows you to turn on or off your voicemail for this particular extension. To exit out of voicemail, you can press the exit key. For advanced user guides and features, please contact your system administrator. Thank you.